Hello and welcome. My name is Cheryl Jacob, and I was in Uganda not so long ago with the TRAiN campaign. And it's such an honor for me today to spend a little time with you as we talk about Law 15 in John Maxwell's 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. So I think you've been on a long journey investing in your own growth. And isn't that an amazing thing? And I'm sure you've grown and you've learned. And so we're going to talk about the last law today. So if you did 14, then my friend Marius took you through that, the law of expansion. And now we're going to talk about the law of contribution. And it's such an important law to end this book on, because I think the law of contribution is really about how do you give to others? How do you make your life significant? And the law of contribution says growing yourself enables you to grow others. And John says in the book that when he first started out on personal growth, it was really all about him. And as he continued on that journey, he realized that it's not just about him, it's actually about giving to others, about how do you invest in others. And so there's a piece in the book that talks about Benjamin Franklin and how he every day would ask himself in the morning, what good shall I do today? And in the evening, he'd ask himself, what good have I done today? And I think that's a nice habit to have. I don't know what your routines are like, but if you have a morning devotion time or sipping your morning coffee, that might be a question you want to ask yourself as you set the agenda for the day. And then when you end the day, whether you take a shower and you reflect, or whether you sit with your journal, whatever that is, it will be a good thing for you to ask yourself is, what good have I done today? Have I made a difference in somebody else's life? And so John talks about something. So there's two things he talks about in the book, and one is how do you be a river and not a reservoir, and the other one is how to make the right choices. And so we're going to talk about both of those today. How to be a river and not a reservoir is something I love, because water doesn't hold anything, it gives. And so when you're growing and you're learning, the best way they say for you to learn is when you teach. And so whatever you're learning, feel free to share that with others, because that's how you contribute. That's how you make a difference in the world. And reservoirs are not always the nicest place. They're kind of stinky. Stagnant water is not something that we make a trip to, right? No, we take a day trip to the lake, because we love to sit by water that's flowing, that's moving, that's giving off life. And so you have to become that river that people want to come and feast off, rather than sit by a decaying body of water. So John talks about making the right choices. When you want to contribute to someone's life, what is the right choices to be making? So he gives us 7 things to focus on. And so the first one is to be grateful. And the beginning of greatness, they say, is gratefulness. And so every morning we do this. It's like, what are the 3 things that you're grateful for before your feet hits the ground? What are the 3 things that you're grateful for in the day? And I think in a way to contribute to others, it's having that mindset of being grateful, because you set the tone for the day. And so number 1 is, if you're going to make the right choices, then you must be grateful. You must have an abundance mindset. And a lot of the times, I think the environment around us, unfortunately, keeps us in a negative mindset, in a scarcity mindset. And I think if you're going to become a contributor in this life that we live, and you're going to make a difference in people's lives, then it's really important that you think about how do you start your day positively. And the best way to do that is to be grateful for something. And then number 2, he says, put people first. I think in a lot of companies at the moment, we're so worried about the bottom line that we really don't think that people are our most appreciable asset. And so how do you invest in people? John says there's 3 important questions people are always asking of you. One is, ooh, do you hear those hardy dogs? So there's 3 questions he asks of you. Do you care about me? Can I trust you? Will you help me? We're all going around, and when we're meeting people, this is the questions we're asking. Whether we like it or not, this is the questions. Subconsciously, unconsciously, it's the questions we're asking. And so if you're interested in being a contributor, if you're making your life a contribution to others, then those are the 3 questions people are asking you, and it's the 3 questions you must be able to answer. And if you're putting people first, then you're answering yes to all 3 of them. So in case you're taking notes, let me tell you that again. So it's, do you like me? Can I trust you? Will you help me? And so it's not only in the work environment, right? This is in family and in church and wherever you're relating with people, in relationship with people. That's the question people are asking. Can I trust you? Do you like me? Will you help me? Number 3, John says, don't let stuff own you. And I think we live in a time where we all are so desperate to get things, where we're living in quite a consumerist environment, and people just want to get and get more. For the country that I live in, which is South Africa, we're finding that our society is becoming quite a dependent society, where we always wanting somebody else to do something for us. And in the book, John says that there's 3 types of people, right? There's the haves, the haves not, and the haves without doing anything about it. And I feel like we're getting to a time where more and more people are becoming part of the third one, where they don't want to work, but they want to get. And so if you are going to be a contributor, you don't just have to work for the things you want, but you also have to work hard at adding value to people and putting the work in. Which leads me to the next one, right? Which is number 4, and it says, don't let people own you. And I think as soon as you have a dependent mindset, then people start to own you, and their agendas start to own you. And so the important thing here is don't let people own you. Do things for yourself, be a contributor, and then don't let people own you. And if you're doing things for people, you're doing it with no strings attached. You're doing it because you're more interested in the giving than in the getting, which then leads me to number 5, which is success is all about sowing seeds that benefit others and not so much about reaping. And unfortunately, we've become quite a self-centered society where everything we give, we want something in return. But when you're sowing seeds to benefit others, this is not about them. This is about you, because you feel amazing when you're actually giving. And so success, when you're a contributor and you're making a contribution, is to sow seeds that benefit others for the betterment of society, but mostly for the betterment of you, because you feel like a better person when you're giving with no strings attached, when you're just giving and you can see someone growing. And if you're a leader, I know you know this, like you've spurred someone on, you've given them great advice, they've done something, they've been a success, and you feel like, wow, yay. Not because you want the glory, but because it's a good feeling when someone else succeeds because you've sowed a seed. Number 6 is about self-development and not self-fulfillment. And so it's really important that we understand that self-development, me developing me, is not for self-fulfillment. To say, oh, wow, look at Cheryl, she's amazing. No, that's not what it's about. What it's about is really, how am I developing myself so that when I develop me, I can develop those around me. And if you're a fan of John or a follower of John, then you must have read his book, which is how to develop the leaders around you. So as a leader, you never develop yourself. You have to develop those around you. And so self-development is key when you're making a contribution. And it's not really about self-fulfillment. The focus is not on you. The focus is on others. You develop you so that you can actually be a blessing to others. And the last one is that you have to keep growing if you're going to keep giving. So as you sow, you will reap. We know this law. It's a universal law. And it really plays out here. When I keep growing, I can keep giving to others. But once I stop growing, I have nothing to give. And so it's important that if you want to be a contributor, you want to live a life of contribution, if you want to be a success in life, then you have to learn how to contribute. And I think one of the most fulfilling things is to be a contributor and not just a taker. And that's where I'm going to leave this law. I think you're going to read the chapter and you're going to put all the nuggets that you need. But I just wanted to wrap this up and give you those 7 things and give you the importance of why it is to make the right choices when you're a contributor. It's very easy to shine the light on yourself. It's very easy to get self-fulfillment and feel like, oh, you're the one with the title and the position. But we know that leadership is nothing more than influence, and influence is leadership, and it's nothing more, nothing less. It's all about influence. And if you're influencing, it means you have people around you that you're giving to, that you're being a river to, and not a reservoir. So I hope that you enjoyed this lesson. I hope you learned something. I am absolutely looking forward to being with Marius on the call with you on Thursday. So let's do this. Let's learn together. Let's get our grow on. I wish you a very happy day. As you can see, I'm sitting outside in a very sunny South Africa in the morning. It's early in the morning, and I wish you a good day. So thank you for joining me for this while, and God bless.